Howdy everyone, we're gonna make some oatmeal and some eggs. So I already got a pot of water boiling. It's pretty close right now if it isn't already. I'll come on over here and grab the pliers and we're gonna check. Oddly enough, my favorite tool is by far and away pliers are definitely by far and away my favorite tool for handling hot objects. I'm a shop geek, okay? Cut Chef Matt a little slack out there. Alright, so we get a little bit of work ahead of us. And we're making some oatmeal along with this. So I've got my bowls right here, and I may have to transition. So we're gonna need a little curry, little onion powder, a little onion, the garlic, little cinnamon, and a little allspice. And I gotta go find one more ingredient. Bear with me. Alright, where exactly is... Oh, there it is, got it. And some brown sugar. Alrighty, so here's what I'm gonna do. And get this party started. I'm gonna set these on a towel, move my coffee over, and move the coffee over. Now, I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna see how well this one fits in my toaster oven. Perfect. So we're just going to go ahead and pour a little water. And because of my bottom tape job of a kitchen, little rinse off, 10-second rule. Well, I guess we can call that the 3-second rule. In this pot, this water's almost to a boil. If you all can name an organism, if you all can name anything that can survive temperatures in excess of 200 degrees of water in excess of 200 degrees, you will all get recognition in a future video that can name an organism. And it can't be one that's already in the comments, and I will be verifying it. So shove it down there in the dirt pit. Alrighty. So what we're going to do here is get us a little water. And I reckon that's a full rolling boil. Oh yeah. Hopefully you can see the water steaming like crazy off this. I only need about that much in that one, and I'll just come back over to this one. Alrighty. I have got to find a better place to put this camera. Ah, right. Got a much better place. It ain't perfect, but it'll work. Alright, and take it, my girl. Okay, there you go. Now, in our water, I'm just gonna both of them. Dash of allspice. No, there we go. Cinnamon. You're all gonna see exactly why I do things the way I do them. Garlic in each of them. One of these days I'll get a GoPro. I can afford one. And we're just gonna put just a hair of curry powder in there. And a little on that one. Now before all y'all go saying that's disgusting, I'm the chef. Check this. And a little powdered garlic. And at this point they're both pretty much close to the same. So I'm gonna mix them up pretty good. I want to get them nice and dissolved. Yes, it is important. Let's get together pretty good. Now in this one right here, we're just gonna get ourselves a little bit of oatmeal. Run over to my handy dandy little shelf. And I'm gonna continue to beat it as I stir in the oats. No, this is not instant oats. I'm not that stupid. I know. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to come over here and grab me a little spoon, and we're going to put some brown sugar in there. Just kind of do it to taste. Why do I love being a chef? And welcome to Cooking with Matt. Now, and I want to say I really do love cooking for quite a few reasons. And I don't cook with a lot of sugar because it's a bad idea, we'll put it that way. Now I'm just going to go ahead and come on over to my toaster oven. And I'm going to set it to 150 to start. We're going to go about 12 minutes. Alright, and while that's doing its thing, we're just going to go ahead and put this back. Now we're going to get the eggs out. I think I'm going to do about a half dozen. It's going to make it nice and light and fluffy with the water in there. Crap, I think it froze. 1. There's 2. There's 3. 4. I'll go 5. This bowl's getting pretty full. And on top of hands. It'll take a minute to do its thing. And a good old fashioned, do it, you know, do it the old fashioned way here. Hey, I don't own shares in the power company. Therefore, I'm not about to use $1 million worth of power tools to do this. And even if I did, they'd be right out of my shop. Just saying. Which means they'd be battery operated. And we'll stick this away. Keep the handle to the inside of the stove because you don't want to wind up wearing that crap. And for this particular stove, I found that's about the best setting right there. And in a moment, I'm going to have to adjust the camera. There we go. Put a little cooking oil in there. And I like to put just a little bit of salt and pepper on my eggs. Not by much, just a little dash. And I got my black pepper in here somewhere. There it is. Which one? Now, if I really wanted to take it to another level, while that stove is warming up, just keep eating it and just keep eating these eggs. At this point in time, we got time to kill. Adding the more homogeneous to make sure the better. Want your flavor good and even. Okay, but before I pour all this in there, before I do much, I'm just going to do a little test batch, see if I need to add another egg for how much water's in here. I didn't put some more than, that's why I'm only starting out with 5, because seeing what we're doing, what you do here, essentially what's happening here is we're aerating the mix because we're adding air into it. That's why I don't use fancy tools, because they don't get enough air in it. And eventually you get a good strong arm. Alright, haven't been 12 minutes yet, but I'm going to end the cycle. There's a certain steam in there. Now I'm just going to, let's do a little test here. Temp ain't quite high. Okay. I think that's going to be a little bit thin. But then again, I don't think I've got my stove turned up high enough quite yet. Just go ahead and check it. I think it was just that my stove wasn't turned up high enough. Beautiful. Beautiful. Perfect. I'm just gonna... It's better to cook it lower and slower. You'll notice that I use stainless steel quite a lot with my cooking. And I'll just kind of like to, you know, I can honestly say stainless steel is better than chrome-plated steel. And those of you dummies putting, plating your steel with chrome, you're all idiots. There's going to be a shop video on that down the road with a metallurgist involved. Whether it's in front of the camera or behind the scenes, that's yet to be determined. I was doing a little test batch. One of a test drop, see how that does. Should produce nice light fluffiness there. We're already getting pretty good and fluffy on this one. I haven't even flipped it yet. Check this out. I'm just going to hold it in place with the spatula so you can get a look at it. It's pretty light and fluffy. I think I may have nailed it. It's called cooking, not a science laboratory experiment for a reason. Because nature's not perfect. Things are inconsistent. Not everything is a beautiful, consistent mixture. And I'm going to take this off to my taste tester. See what she thinks. What do you think? We'll test a sample. Do I need to add another egg to it, or perfect? In a minute. I'm gonna get some going here. I wasn't worried about the flavor, I was worried about it being cooked enough. Alright, now I'm gonna grab this camera here. Look at that. Now we're just gonna see, I think I might just hang it from right here. Might not give me enough angle. Okay, and I'm just gonna I'll move my coffee out the way. I don't think I actually have the best setup here. I want you guys to comment in the dirt pit what you think of that. Yes, I know the camera's kind of unstable, but I'll make do with what I got. Alrighty, I'll take that plate.
When you do one more complicated, I'll come prep for you.
So set this off to the side. Some more extra brewing. And now we're just gonna bring you right around here. And I think I'm just gonna go about right there. Alright, so it's looking to me as though these could potentially use a little more work. Little sterilization there. I'm just going to add just a hair more sugar. A little bit more brown sugar. Okay, I'm just going to get it together right quick. If I had apples, I'd have my prep cook help me with that part, but just kind of a simple breakfast here. If you're wondering the exact settings on my toaster oven, I have it set to broil. And now I'm going to set it to about 225. And we're just going to go a short little while and come back over here. I want you all to check this out. Okay, that right there's a nice little scrambled egg. Okay, that's turning cooking into artwork. Oh, come on, you silly old fridge. So, while we wait, we're just gonna... I've got a little nature minute for you. And it kind of regards to food. So, those of you with a brown thumb, there are multiple factors that could be coming into play here. Okay, what could be coming into play? It could be something as simple as excessive amounts or a drought of water. It could also come down to something a little more complicated, such as too much nutrients too quick being added, or not enough. And it's a little farming moment, this farming minute right now. So, how does that affect the crop? Well, it's simple. How it affects it is quite interesting. It affects it very well in the sense that, and I understand this can be kind of a complicated matter. The ideal ratio with soil, air, and water is 50% solids, 25% air, 25% water. Now, I do a unique style of microbe farming, and that is where in a raised garden bed, I like to have it so that the bottom 6 inches holds the water. And I will mist on top of that until those roots hit the water for things like carrots and whatnot. And it's kind of a little interesting little ag tip. And I am hoping that it solves your issue. Typically, if a plant is struggling, quit watering it from the top, loosen up the soil a little bit, and water it from the bottom. And you'll notice that when you pull it, when you pull the crop out of the ground, out of that soil, it actually, at the end of the root, okay, picture this is a picture of the tip of my fingers, the root, the main root. You'll notice right near the root cap, that's the little cap on the end of the root. And yes, I understand I'm getting into scientific terminology. Well, what you'll notice about the offshoots of that main stem coming up and down is that, the stem comes, the main root comes down, and then you got your offshoots of that. You'll notice that your offshoots will spread out on both sides, heading downward to the water. Some will head straight out to the nutrients. It's kind of an interesting little thing, and you can honestly learn a lot from having a, kind of a little shoot where you can see what those roots are doing. And typically you just have a little box with one side being plexiglass. You plant the seed a little bit away from it and you watch it germinate and grow. And you can learn a lot from it. And believe it or not, it's used a lot with scientific stuff. And that's how farming is becoming scientific. Now for a nature moment. Over on the East Coast, there's a tropical storm. And if you're affected by that, I hope you tip your hat to the man, to the men and women of the armed forces out there helping them. It's kind of a, helping things out there. It's kind of a side of them you don't always see, and it's quite interesting. And I'd like to give a shout out to Dread Pirate Trucker as well as Ron Pratt. I'd like to thank you, Rotator Ron, for the extremely amazing footage of that storm. And if you're wondering where that footage is, just jump on over to his channel. It's kind of interesting, and it'll surprise you in a little way. And Rotator Ron goes into, talks about hydraulic pressures with someone, and you'll have to go over to his channel and find out what that is. And now we're gonna come on over to the other side and check on this oatmeal. I truthfully am hoping that stuff helps you all to know. And grab my little trusty pliers because it's going to be freaking hot. And not quite done yet. It's looking a little thin. A little undercooked. So we're just going to keep it going and see how it does. For this cycle, I'm gonna bump it up another 25 degrees up to about 250. And we'll try about 5 minutes. And we'll be back briefly. And the reason we're back briefly is I gotta do a couple things behind the scenes. Bear with me. Not exactly perfect. Slightly runny, but see how it turned out. You know, last time it was very runny. Let's see how it turned out. And nice and thick. And we'll see how it tastes. Taste tester. Don't worry, I'll keep the camera pointed at the frickin' bowl.
It's okay. You can.
Unless you want to be on camera.
You can do my test in it.
Here's a spoon. Alright, you're on camera. That would be my prep cook there. As they said, what was it, the 80s? That's banging. Alright, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and, you know, objectively speaking, whilst the camera was off, my prep cook took care of cleaning the eggshells. I'll show you a little video as to what we do with the eggshells. Ultimately, I've got enough set aside now to do that in a future video, and I'm aiming to shoot that this weekend. I hope you all have an excellent weekend, and I'd love for you all to post a little something there in that dirt pit. Let me know what you thought of it. By all means, make this recipe. It's not entirely difficult. You wouldn't think that I know it wouldn't be typically thought of that curry and garlic would go well in oatmeal and in eggs, but gotta be creative. Otherwise, you're not being an artist, and I have my morning coffee to tend to. This has been Cooking with Matt, and I would love to see you all in a future video. Have a good one.